There's some interesting things happening in the Durham region real estate market. My name is Brett. I work with the Sarah Walsh real estate team, and I'm here to tell you about those today. Right now, guys, there's a lot of doom and gloom in the housing market. And if you're watching the media, consuming the media all the time, you may get the sense that this is the case. But what I'm here to do today is just talk a little bit about the stats, and I'm going to dispel a little bit of the doom and gloom and maybe see where there's a little bit of opportunity for a certain subset of sellers and buyers. All right, now let's jump into these numbers. You guys may think I have someone telling me stuff in my headphones, but really, honestly, I'm just cold in the basement here. My ears get really cold. That's why I'm wearing a coat today. But we're going to get into these numbers here. So what I'm going to go over is Durham and Toronto are a little bit of a different market right now. In Toronto, you have over 2 months of inventory, almost 3 months of inventory. And when we compare that to the Durham area, our months of inventory here is a lot lower. It's actually under 2 months of inventory, which is like technically still saying we're in a seller's market. I'm going to summarize this stuff in my end piece, so I'll get to like what I'm getting at that time. But what I'm going to look at here is pricing. So, Durham, since the highs in February, the sale prices are down 29%, and also your sales volume is down 68%. So the lack of demand because of rising interest rates, as you can see in the volume here, is having an effect on price. So you may be thinking, technically like a 30% drawdown, that's a crash. I think some people are calling for a subsequent crash. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen just because of these inventory levels that are staying quite low. So Toronto has dropped only 17% in pricing, and this is usually expected versus the suburbs because Toronto is, the most desirable market in this area. People are closer to their jobs, the commute is less, the property values are higher. So across all of Toronto, you expect that there would be less of a price drop, but they have also suffered the same sort of volume drop as Durham has. Interestingly enough, this is Durham since pre-pandemic. So even though we're looking at a 30% drawdown in prices from the high, since pre-pandemic, Durham is up 85%. So 88.5%. So 88 minus that 30% for easy numbers is Durham is still up by almost 40% since pre-pandemic. So if you bought any time, I think I used from before March 2020, if you bought March 2020 and before, you're sitting on a lot of equity. And the last thing I'm going to touch on here is actually the second last thing I'm going to touch on. Yeah, the second last thing. So we're going to be seeing, this is year over year percentage change in sales price and year over year percentage change in volume. So we're coming off 2 really hot years, 2021 and 2022, and this is going to start to look really ugly once we get into February and March because of the prices that were so high. If we're looking at December here, December stats, even from last year, prior year sales price $1 million in Durham, we're looking at 878. So there's going to be some big precipitous drops here. So if you're consuming the news media, this might be used as some sort of doom and gloom scenario. But, even in these type of markets, like there's always opportunity for people, and we'll get into that in a second. So the last thing I'm going to look at here, and I'm going to segue into my little final piece, this is days on market. So if we look at the blue lines here at the bottom for December, we're looking at 2021 and 2022, where there was, even for December, which is usually a slower month because of Christmas, there was only 8 days on market in 2021 and 12 days on market in 2022. For 2020 and 2021 respectively. In 2022, we're raising up here to an average of 21 days on market, and we're kind of getting back into that, a little bit of that lull that we were in with higher days on market in 2019 before the pandemic. So I'm going to segue with this days on market into my final thoughts. So with days on market being that high, up in the 20s now, and it'll likely fall a little bit into the springtime when people start looking for houses, the people that are left. What you really need to make sure is that the real estate team or individual agent that you're going to be using has a marketing plan that spans past the first week of the listing, because throughout the pandemic times and last year, what you were looking at was an average days on market that was in the single digits. And you put a sign on the lawn, you're going to have a bunch of buyer demand coming, and that place is going to sell in multiple offers. So if you ask our team, what we have is a 90-day marketing plan to get it through to that final end date. But obviously, all those efforts put in each week is going to get your home sold before 90 days, especially when pricing is correct. I think because where prices are going, I really believe that we've kind of hit a floor. It may grind down a little bit over the year if we get some subsequent rate hikes, but I don't think it's going to be another precipitous drop. So if there's a house that you've really had your eye on, or you're looking to upsize or into something more luxurious that fits your lifestyle, I think that's where you can take advantage, because those prices have come down quite a bit. But I'm not going to say that it's going to be all, sunshine and rainbows, because you will have to suffer. If you're moving and getting a new mortgage, you will have to suffer those higher interest costs for a time until such time that rates start to level off or come down. And with that statement as well, what I really believe is that once rates level off, or once the Bank of Canada says, okay, this is it, we're going to hold here for a time to try and get back to that 2% inflation target that they've been adamant that they want to get to. At that time, once it gives people more certainty, you'll see a lot more buyers flooding into the market. And if we have these low inventory levels, then you know what? We could see prices slowly bumping up again. All right. That's it for me before I start rambling about any old thing. But if you like this content, what I want you to do is please like and subscribe for all you people on YouTube. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can follow my profile. You can follow Sarah at Sarah Sold It. I'm at bp.realtor, and we are going to have a lot more cool things coming up the new year, especially for people who are really busy and busy parents, because we know those are the type of people who need the most help when they're selling a property, because your life's busy. What are you going to do when you're trying to sell your house? It's very stressful. There's lots to do, but we can help you out with that. So talk to us about our packages that we have for those people, and you can do that by booking a discovery call just to chat about the market, or you can book a buyer's or seller's consultation right down there in the description. If you're on Instagram, it's in the link in our bio, and you can see all the listings that we have coming up. All right, that's it from me. Sweet.